Over the past few hours, Bungie has been taking down a lot of Destiny music uploads on YouTube, making a lot of the tracks from this franchise completely inaccessible to the public. The main channels that have suffered takedowns were Promethean Archival Mind and Lorcanosi. The Destiny Music Archive channel has also taken all of their videos offline as a precaution. Today, I wanted to cover exactly what happened and why this is extremely bad for the future of the music of this franchise. Let's start with getting some things out of the way. We know full well that Bungie has all of the legal rights to the Destiny IP and all of its music. The strikes they issued are legally in the right, and there's no question to be had there. The issue doesn't lie with the legality, but rather with the morality. Let me explain. Destiny has a lot of music. With every expansion, Bungie releases an official soundtrack for it containing its music. However, this is not even close to all of the music that actually plays in the game. Very often, the soundtrack version of a track is missing a few sections from it, like most recently with the final boss theme of Vow of the Disciple, of which the soundtrack version cuts out about a minute and a half. There are also a lot of cases where entire tracks never see an official release happen. Just to give a few examples, the music for last year's seasonal activities like Presage and Expunge were never officially released anywhere. Now, inherently, this isn't a problem. The soundtracks are marketed as a taste of the music of the release, and they're not meant to be the full package. This is where the music archive channels come in. What we do is that we rip the music from the files of the game and we piece it back together the exact same way that they would play in-game. We then upload those to archive them for people to listen to. If this music is taken down by Bungie, then the only way for people to listen to these tracks is by playing the corresponding activity in-game. Now once again, that isn't inherently a problem. Or at least, it wasn't, until the Destiny Content Vault was introduced. With the DCV, it means that a lot of content is now inaccessible to players, and this content can include literally anything from patrol zones, to strikes, to campaigns, and even raids. A lot of the content that has so far been vaulted includes a lot of music that was never officially released. To give an example, the music of the Scourge of the Past raid and the 0 Hour mission never saw an official release from Bungie outside of a limited time release on Bungie Rewards. That limited time download is now inaccessible, and the distribution of those files is illegal. This means that if Bungie were to continue taking down music videos, the boss fight theme of Insurrection Prime vanishes from the internet completely. And that's just an example of a single track. There are dozens of tracks that got vaulted and no longer play in-game, and even more tracks that never saw an official release. The point of these channels is to give players a way to listen to this music even after its content has been vaulted. We want to preserve the music so that players can return to it whenever they want to. And just to clarify, none of these channels have any monetization on them. This is all done completely for free, and that would never ever change. These videos also take a lot of time to put together. It's not a simple job of copying an MP3 file from the game's files and dragging that into a video editing software. The Destiny music is a little more complicated than that. First of all, the music is split into multiple layers, usually at least a percussion layer and a melody layer. The reason that these layers are separated is so that the percussion can be muted whenever there are no enemies around, or so that everything but the percussion can be muted in between boss damage phases. Second of all, the music is split into small 10 to 15 second segments that play one after another. The reason for this is so that the music can jump to different parts of the track at the end of each section. For example, when you start a damage phase on a raid boss. These two things alone can turn the task of putting the music back together from a simple 2-minute thing to something that can take hours. And there are even more complications at play here that I don't have the time to go into right now. The point that I'm trying to make is that it takes a lot of time and effort to put these things together, which is also part of the reason why Bungie doesn't just release all of its music officially themselves. This is why it's an issue that these channels are being taken down. It's fully understandable that no one at Bungie is going to do all this work just so that every second of music can be released officially. However, when there are people out there doing that same work for free, with zero benefits from it, I feel like that's a different story. Obviously, at the end of the day, it is still Bungie's call. They can decide what they want to do with their IP, they can decide what they want to do with their music, and if they would rather have hours of music completely vanish off the face of the planet, then they are well within their rights to make that decision. That's about all I can really say on the situation as it stands right now. I'll only say this once, but please do not take to social media and harass Bungie employees, especially not the community managers. The point of this video is to make the situation known to the public and hopefully get a statement from Bungie out of it that might just save Destiny's music. And it's not to start a bunch of hate towards people that don't deserve it. If you have any further questions about the situation or about Destiny's music in particular, please leave them down in the comments below and I'll try to respond to as many as I can. Thank you for watching.